joined by NFL Draft Prospect Devonte Williams. Devonte, thanks for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to start kind of at the beginning of all this, your recruitment process. You began your career at Indiana. Indiana was the only Power 5 school to offer you. How did that all come about, and what ultimately led to you winding up going to Indiana?
Well, actually, I got my very first offer my sophomore year. It was from Temple University. And then going into my junior year, at the end of the season, I think it was around that time frame, I ended up getting an offer from Indiana University. And then after Indiana kind of, gave me my offer, a couple more schools rolled in. And then I ended up committing to Marshall University.
Mm.
And after that, I ended up decommitting. And then I committed to Indiana University. And then toward kind of late in the process, Oklahoma State came in. So that was my top 3 schools. I had my official visit was already set up for Indiana University, and which I had already been. I had already visited Indiana once before on an unofficial. So I could have took that opportunity, to go out and venture off and try something new and take an official visit to Oklahoma State, because I've already taken 2. I took one to Marshall and I took one to Indiana. So, but I kind of just wanted to stick to my guns. I built a strong relationship with Dylan McCullough. That was my position coach there at Indiana. Once I built that, strong bond with him, he had a strong background. He has multiple running backs that, are playing at the highest level right now. He has Tevin Coleman, Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard was actually there my true freshman year. So once I got up to Indiana University, Jordan Howard, he was the starting running back at the time. So Kevin Wilson kind of brought me into his office, and he was like, have you ever played any other position? And I was like, nah, not really. I've only, I really stuck to the offensive side. And he was like, well, I want you to try to play DB. So I was like, all right, it's kind of unfamiliar territory, but I ended up trying it out, and I ended up starting my true freshman year. I started the first 3 games of the season at corner, a position I never played before. And I ended up getting hurt the 3rd game returning the kick. And then after that time frame, Kevin Wilson, he ended up, redshirting me. I got a medical red shirt that year. And I came back the following year. Jordan Howard had left, so I went right back to offense and went right back into running back.
When you got to Southeastern, your 2018 year, it's like you were just getting your feet wet. You had 4 rushing touchdowns, but it seemed like you had a monster in 2018 as you doubled in your touchdowns. What did you do to prepare and have that monster season in 2018 and 19?
I feel like that kind of was a transition year, coming from, one school to another, getting acclimated to the system and everything. Everybody was new to the system because, it was Coach Stevens, his first year there as well. So I feel like it was just kind of an acclimation year, where everybody was just getting used to the system and trying to fill the playbook out and everything like that. So I feel like, once we kind of got all that down and we kind of gelled as a team, I think that was, the number one thing. My junior year, I feel like, a lot of everybody was kind of just, very, very self-centered. Nobody was really, worried about the team. And, I feel like, I got there that summer. So I didn't even get to do spring ball with them my junior year. I kind of got there, late in the process. So once I got there, that summer, I had missed spring ball. So I kind of just, I was late getting into the playbook. I had like no, relationships with anybody on the team, so it was kind of like a tough, situation that I kind of got thrown into. So
Devonte, you've played a lot of games in your college career, had a lot of big moments. What would your top 3 moments be, though, in your career?
The first moment would definitely be being able to make the freshman All Big Ten team. Second would be the Villanova game, the crazy comeback that we had, first round of the playoffs, first time Southeastern was able to surpass the first round of the playoffs. And last but not least, senior night. It was a very, very special night. I scored a rushing touchdown, I scored a punt return, and a receiving touchdown as well. And actually, the punt return that I had, it made SportsCenter top 10. It was the number 2 play on SportsCenter. So I think I might have been one of the first players to do that in Southeastern history. So that was pretty dope.
Now, Devonte, I have a question for you. So you played in the Big 12 at Indiana. You played against guys like Saquon, Barkley, and Joey Bosa. So my question is, what do you think is the easier task, to tackle Saquon or to break a tackle from Joey Bosa?
Well, I've actually had to, try to do both. That's funny you say that because the opening kickoff, I actually was on the kickoff team down in Indiana, and the opening kickoffs, this man Saquon Barkley ended up, busting. He returned the opening kickoff of the game. So I was on the opposite end of the field, and I kind of had to try to run him down, so. And I got to him last moment, but once I tried to dive at him, he ended up like, he just like jumped. So, I kind of missed the tackle. So, that was a a tough situation for me to be in, But also, Bosa, I've had a block Bosa as well. So, I don't know. It's kind of neck and neck.
Most FBS to FCS transfers, it's either a case of losing a job or they get into some kind of trouble at an FBS school. They have to go to FCS. You got playing time and you didn't get into any trouble at Indiana. So what ultimately led to you leaving Indiana and moving to the FCS at Southeastern?
Well, that's once the coaching staff kind of changed, that's where kind of everything just went downhill. Like I said, the relationship that I built with Dylan McCullough, was a very strong one, and he ended up leaving to go to USC. He was at USC for 1 year, and he's now at the Kansas City Chiefs. So, once he kind of left, I feel like, especially after that my redshirt freshman year, where I was on the all freshman Big Ten team, I felt like I should have a larger part in the offense. Which kind of didn't happen just because when the new coaching staff came in and the new running back, Hart, he ended up coming in. He kind of laid out a platform. This is the type of running back that I like. Which is probably like the traditional 6 foot plus 200 type of back. Obviously, I'm not that. So it just kind of was a me not fitting their type of scheme, their new evolved scheme that they wanted at the time. So I had to find something new.
And I'm curious with all this going on, with the coronavirus stuff and all that. You're one of the players that obviously didn't get to get a pro day. What does all your training look like? And are you hearing anything from NFL teams, possibly CFL teams? What is your outlook on all this right now?
Well, it's kind of, my agent is kind of handling a lot of that stuff right now. But, this entire process has been, a phenomenal process. I've just been, embracing it and grinding day in and day out. I know everything does happen for a reason. So, wherever God wants me to be is where I will be. It doesn't matter, obviously, number one, I want to be in the NFL, but, wherever God puts me, I'll be, satisfied.
I am curious, the draft is Thursday. Growing up, was there any one or two teams that, you as a kid was saying, man, I would do anything to play for them? Was there a specific team you really wanted to play for?
Not necessarily. Honestly, I'm open to anything, any team. But I have always been a Carolina Panthers fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Devonte, this is kind of just going on a tangent. It's not really even about football. But before we got on this interview, I was actually watching Transformers. And I had seen an interview with you that said you connect or you kind of relate yourself to Bumblebee a little bit. Can you explain that?
Okay, so it's actually the Matrix.
Okay.
Yeah, the Matrix. So I actually kind of was given that nickname, when I was younger, just from the fact that I'm able to make people miss and stuff like that. So my dad kind of gave me that connection to the Matrix, and it was actually my dad's friend, and he was like, your nickname should be the Matrix, and it kind of just stuck around. And then in high school, that nickname kind of really, really blew up, where a lot of the fans and the student section and stuff like that, they kind of publicized that nickname for me, so which was kind of dope, and I kind of just took it and rolled with it. But it's the Matrix.
Devonte, Southeastern just got one of your former teammates at Indiana, Morgan Ellison. I don't know if you had a relationship with Morgan, but Southeastern kind of developing this connection with former Indiana running backs now. And he's kind of coming to almost replace you, hopefully, in the offense. What can you tell Southeastern fans about Morgan Ellison?
He's definitely a hard worker. He kind of keeps his head down and just grinds. So I you guys could just look forward to a lot of positivity coming from him.
And finally, Devonte, what do you want the fans out there to know, teams out there to know about what they can expect from Devonte Williams moving forward?
You can expect a hardworking guy, a guy who's going to put his head down and grind every single day, a guy who can, do anything on the field in regards to, returning punts, catching the ball off the backfield, running the ball in between the tackles and outside. A guy who is, going to, be positive in the community as well as on the field. So.
NFL draft prospect Devonte Williams. Devonte, how can everybody follow you on social media?
My Instagram name is Devonte Z Williams, Devonte Z Williams.
There you go. NFL draft prospect Devonte Williams. Devonte, thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you, guys.